there used to was a stump here, and now there ain't no more. Hey, it's Brock here from Rock Hill Farm, and today we're gonna try using this giant Baumalight stump grinder to grind out this tree stump. About a 30-inch diameter tree. I cut it down maybe a little over a year ago, and should be a really good candidate. Now, in case you didn't see the previous video on this, one thing we got to take into account is this stump grinder is designed for a much larger tractor than I have. I literally don't know if my tractor can handle it. I know how capable the stump grinder is because I ran a very similar stump grinder that was a little bit smaller and actually designed for the tractor I was using it on. So if this stump grinder has trouble, then my job becomes to go find a big tractor that can run it and see how it does. So this is what we've got. Pretty good size. It's an oak tree. First thing I need to do is remove some of this surrounding material. And you can see rocks right here and right here and right here. This ground is incredibly rocky, and those rocks will be up inside that stump. I will be grinding rock. The further up the hill we go, the rockier it is. And I ground a stump down there, and that stump was just full of rocks, completely full. Anyway, the first thing I need to do is cut this off down at ground level. One pull. Cutting off a big stump like this can be awkward if you have a smaller saw. That 500i just eats it. And my saw was able to go through 75% of it, which made it a lot easier with the 25-inch bar. I think from here to here we're probably 36 inches, but here to here might only be 26. Previous to this, I had a very similar design of stump grinder from the same company, which is Baumalight. The previous model was a 3P24, which means it has a 24-inch diameter grinding wheel. This one is the 3P38, so it has a 38-inch grinding wheel. Other than the diameter of the wheel, the design is very similar. And with that other grinder, I probably ground out a bare minimum of 50 stumps, but I bet it was a lot more than that. And some of these stumps were enormous. I ground out 1,000 if you count all the little bitty ones, but I'm talking about big stumps. And the largest one I ever did with it was 18 feet wide on the grind area. It was a double stump of two trees grown together, and each trunk was about 3 or 4 foot diameter. But when you combined all the root flare, it was literally 18 feet. So with all of that grinding experience, what I can say is that these are the most convenient style of tractor mount grinder you can get. The type that articulate on a swinging boom and you control with your levers on your rear remotes. Now, what surprised me about running this exact grinder is, even though it's supposedly too big for my tractor, I had a lot less machine vibration and bouncing and stalling than I did running the smaller one. Now, the smaller grinder was also on a smaller tractor, but it would beat my John Deere up. My little John Deere tractor, when I was running that other grinder, would bounce all over the place, and if I went too fast, it would kill the tractor, and you could really hear it bogging down the engine. But I never had any of those problems today running this grinder. Okay, I did not stop this because I'm having a problem. I stopped it because I want to show you something, and because I want to pull this rock out. Look at what it was eating, that rock, and you can hear it, which shows us we're already at ground level. Now, you might be watching this and thinking it's going slow, but I want you to see how much material I'm moving per pass. We're taking off 2 inches of material per pass. That's why I'm going across it so slow. But I really have just started grinding this. And if you look, we're halfway across the width and we're at ground level. We're below ground level up there. We're at ground level here. And so we've still got a lot left to do, but it's going quickly. As far as negatives to running this right now, I feel like the TYM, it's got the 2 rear remotes that you need to run one of these, and one of them is very controlled and very smooth, and I have that one on the side to side, and it's just like butter. I can go exactly how fast I want. The other one has the detent in it, and that one, as I try to just barely move it, it moves a little too fast or a little too much, and it wants to pop into that detent. And so it's not ideal the way my third function, one of my rear remote levers is a little bit janky in operating it. This has been a fantastic experience using this so far. Very, very powerful, very convenient. The only negative to it right now for me is this growing feeling in my stomach that I have such an awesome tractor and that I might be abusing it a little bit. So I wish I had one size smaller on this grinder, but otherwise, fantastic. You might have noticed this guard was dragging the ground. It's because it's supposed to have more bolts in it, and they weren't in it when it was shipped, but I found them up where I opened the crate. You need to bolt this up the right way so that doesn't happen anymore. So my next thought was that I need to hit this up here, which I definitely do. You can see ground level. This is ground level right here, and this right here, this nub is sticking up. But then we continue, say ground level is here. We are 4 or 5 inches below ground level here. And if you look over here, this is ground level right here, and I've ground all this below ground level. And I could just keep grinding this down, but like I'm just grinding through rock right here. If we come to the back, this is ground level, and this little nub is all that's sticking above ground level. Now, if somebody had hired me to grind this stump, I might go a little lower, maybe out here in the middle, but really for me, to never see or think about this again, all I've got to do is remove this back ridge, that top ridge, and I might take a couple passes out of the middle here, and then we'll cover this guy up. So I appreciate you taking time to watch the video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.